Hello world, I'm Twist and welcome back to Raw Recap and Review. This is the December 15th, 2025 episode of Raw from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and I'm not going to lie to you, today's episode is pretty lackluster and the crowd is really dead. But if you love WWE content, subscribe to the channel, and if you enjoyed this video, please like it. So now that we got that, let's get into this lackluster episode. So we're in the aftermath of what happened on Saturday. John Cena had his last match, and the person who beat him in his last match is doing the promo for today's episode. We have Gunther. Gunther walks out all black, and he's getting booed insanely by everyone in the crowd. Everyone hates Gunther because obviously he made John Cena tap out. Gunther is just aura farming. He jumps on the announce table, aura farms, gets in the ring. He's getting booed. He's getting booed. He's getting booed. And he's basically here to say, I said what I was going to do. He made John Cena give up. And he said he made John Cena tap like a little bitch. And then he walks away. He leaves. But then he walks back. He goes to the announce table again. And he says, goes back to the ring. He says, that I'll forever be the man that made John Cena give up and tap like a little bitch. Walks out again. He actually leaves this time. He walks away. He goes to the back. He sees Akira Tozawa and Otis. They trying to like big up for John. He do not care about them. He's R-Truth. He calls him a piece of trash. Gunther does not care. Gunther then walks up and sees Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce calls him an asshole and says, "You're done for the day." He's like, "I was gonna leave anyway." And then they have the camera of him going to his car outside, and AJ Styles is sitting on his car. He doesn't say anything. He lets him get in the car. And before Gunther gets off, he goes, "Hey, AJ, you can't see me," and drops off. And I feel like low key, that's why the crowd was dead after that. The whole life got kicked out of him after this segment right here. But the first match of Raw, low key, was the best match of Raw. Because we have the Usos versus the New Day. And we get Jimmy and Kofi to start off the match. They both start up with a tie-up. Starts up with Jimmy and Kofi doing a tie-up. They both know each other well, so they both push out at each other. Jimmy goes for a super kick. Kofi goes for a Trouble in Paradise. They both miss. They both look at each other. Jimmy gets Kofi into the corner, tags in Jay. Jay does a big corner splash, an enziguri kick. As Jay has the upper hand, he's on the other side near the apron, but Woods hits him with a big clothesline. As Jay was on the ground, Kofi does a big baseball slide kick to Jay out on the outside, and that leads to the New Day aura farming on the apron before we go to the commercial break. Get back from commercial break with Jay doing a hot tag to Jimmy Uso. Now Jimmy's in the ring. He has the upper hand. He's doing a big combo. Lands an enziguri kick on Kofi. But that Xavier Woods gets a distraction on Jimmy, which leads to Kofi hitting Jimmy outside the ring. And as the distraction is going on, the ref is distracted. Jimmy then proceeds to get hit by Grayson Waller. He gets thrown. He throws Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller throws Jimmy into the turnbuckle on the outside, and Jay's complaining about that, and that leads to Xavier Woods hitting Jay with a big clothesline on the outside. As that's happening, Grayson gets Jimmy back in the ring, and that leads to Kofi and Xavier Woods doing the unicorn stumps on Jimmy. We got the stumps. They have him in the corner. That leads to Jimmy reversing a diving attack with a super kick. Boom. Again, he gets the big hot tag with Jay. After Jay gets the hot tag, he lands a big super kick on Woods. He gets a kick out though. Then he gets from the top rope, lands a big crossbody, another kick out, and that's when he gets to the commercial break. As he's about to set up a move, Grayson Waller pulls on Jay's leg, but that gets him caught by the ref. The ref removes Grayson Waller out of the match, and then the Usos proceed to do super kicks on Woods and Kofi, and then they get on the top rope. Do a double Uso splash of Woods. 1, 2, kick out. I ain't gonna lie, Woods kicking out surprised me a lot. But after the kick out, the Usos are still on it. They try to land 1D, but as they're about to set it up, Kofi pulls Jay outside the ring, throws him to the stairs, and that leads to the New Day landing Daylight on Jimmy. 1, 2, It ain't over yet though. Jay gets back in the ring. He saves the match, but Kofi instantly gets on the offense, isn't with a trouble in paradise. And as they're all down, Kofi and Jay are back on the outside. Jay out of nowhere just lands a big spear on Kofi. Jimmy hits a big spear on Woods. After the spears, they land a big 1D. 1, 2, 3. The Usos win. That was a pretty good match from the Usos and the New Day. I feel like it started off a little shaky in the beginning because a lot of the moves were kind of like botching. Like you would think with all the chemistry they have, but they locked in by the end of the match and it was a pretty good ending. I feel like the 1D at the end was a little shaky with the finish, but overall, I give it about a 3.5 star match. I enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. And the Usos are basically like number one in contention, for running for the belts, and the New Day go back down on the totem pole. So overall, I enjoyed the match. Next segment, we get the Vision backstage. Logan Paul is talking to Bronson Reed. He's like, man, you cold, man, for what you did to LA Knight, man, taking that man out, man. That was so cold. But he was like, who's the masked man though? And like Paul's like, I want to know who the masked man is too, man. Like who did that? Like I don't know. Like he don't know. Like and Braun Breaker, he tweaking in the back. He like Paul, can I talk to you real quick? He was like, hey, I know CM Punk here, man. So if CM Punk pop out, I'm whooping his ass. I'm putting belt to ass. I'm whooping his ass. And then Paul's like, bro, chill out. Like you gonna fight him January 5th for the belt. Like it's 21 days. You know how many time you got left? You like 21 days. He said, I got 21 days, something right. He said, all right, that's crazy. He said, just chill out. And then Logan's like, hey man, just chill out, bro. I got a match tonight with Ray. I might need some help, so just chill out, and just wait for your time. You know what I mean? Then after that segment, we get a promo from Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Big Rio, they do their entrance. They walking out. They come down to the ringside, but boom, Asuka out of nowhere, poison mist to Rhea Ripley. That leads to her and Kairi Sane ended up beating up Rhea Ripley. Then they throw Io Sky into the stairs while Io's down on the ground. They pick up Rhea Ripley. They throw in the ring. Asuka's holding Rhea by her arms, right? Kairi gets to the top rope to go for the elbow, but Io Sky gets back in the ring. She sacrifices her body to take the elbow, and so they're both down on the ground now. They're both hurt. They finally got the security or the refs to help Rhea Ripley try to get the mist out her eye. And Kairi Sane, Asuka, Kabuki Warriors, they look strong, leading into an eventual matchup. But I feel like the reason that they did this is because on January 5th, the same day Punk and Braun are going to be fighting, they're going to be defending their belts too against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. So I guess they're trying to show that they not to be messed with. So that's going to be another title match on that January 5th episode. So I can't wait for that. For that segment, we get into our second match of the night, which is for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We have Maxine Dupri versus against Ivy Nile Alpha Academy. Maxine been trying to train it on the low. She's been wearing the dungeon, trying to get right for this. She's been locking in, so it's time to start defending that belt. The match starts up with Ivy Nile mushing Maxine in his face, trying to punk her. She ends up rolling her up, but she gets out of that real quick. But Maxine, it's a different Maxine. She's not going down for that. She smacked the taste out of Ivy Nile's mouth. Ivy Nile, of course, upset, does a big takedown, start punching, but Maxine reverses it and start punching back. They both get up, but then Nile wins the whole sequence with a big spine buster on Maxine. Nile proceeds to get Maxine up on the corner on the top rope, but Maxine reverses it with a big corner arm bar. She's loading it up. She's wrenching on the arm, but Nile lifts up Maxine and drops her down on the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. Then goes outside and hits Maxine with a big German suplex, and that's how we get to the commercial break. When we get back from the commercial break, Ivy Niles has the upper hand. She's holding Maxine in a reverse DDT situation, lifts her up, and Maxine reverses it into a spike Rana, which looked insane. It looked insanely painful. But Nile gets back up. They're both on the ground, but they both get up, and then Ivy Nile hits Maxine with multiple punches to the face. She's like, boom. boom. But Maxine's like taking it, and she like kind of hooks up, does a big 3-kick combo on Nile, then hits her with a fisherman suplex. We get a kick out after that. But as Maxine tried to do a new move, that leads to Nile doing a powerbomb on Maxine, but gets another kick out. After the kick out, Nile gets Maxine on the corner. She gets on top of her to do the 10 punches, but as she's doing the 10 punches, she starts emoting, which leads to Maxine. She not playing with that. Maxine hits her with a big powerbomb, but she gets a kick out. After the kick out, we get into a situation on the corner top rope. Somehow, Nile lands a corner sleeper on Maxine. The refs counted it. She gets off. She gets up, does a big kick on Maxine while she's in a tree of woe position. Then Nile tries to get on the top rope, but Maxine powers through and throws her off of it. She tries to get on the top rope. Maxine tries to go for a crossbody. That misses. After missing the crossbody, she tries to go for a roll-up on Nile, which leads her to get into landing on the ankle. And then we get a whole bunch of fire, cool, multiple ankle lock reversals. But in the end, Maxine gets the ankle lock again. She's wrenching on it, and then she sits down on it. And then eventually, Ivy Nile taps out. Maxine retains the championship. I feel like Maxine is improving. She's getting better as a performer. Overall, I might give this match about it. You know what? I'm going to give this match a 2.75. I was thinking of giving it a 2.5 before, but I give it a 2.75. You know, this match was very quiet. The crowd was not really into it. The crowd was not into a lot of things tonight. And I feel like that low-key hampers the match a little bit because you're like, man, like, am I wrong? Are they wrong? Like, I don't know. But I like what they're doing. I thought it was a pretty interesting match with how they were doing the power. I like how Maxine is not scared anymore, so you can really see an improvement in that. But hoping what they're going to do with her reign next. Next up, then we get a backstage segment with Adam Pearce. He's talking to Javon Evans, and he's telling him how impressed he was what he's been doing on Saturday night. But then El Grande Americano comes up with Rayo Americano, and I can't think of the other Americano's name, you know. And he's talking in Spanish. He's basically speaking in Spanish, disrespecting Javon. And Javon's like, I don't know Spanish, but I know when somebody disrespecting me, so like, what's good? Like, you disrespecting me, disrespecting NXT, like, we got a problem. And then Pierce is like, okay, you busy, Javon? You not busy? Okay. Which one of y'all want to fight Javon next week? And so Rayo from the Americano steps up, and that's how we're gonna get El Grande, and now we're gonna get Javon Evans versus Rayo Americano on next week's episode. And with that segment, that is going to be the end of that's going to be the end of part 1 of Raw Recap and Review. Make sure to click on for part 2 to get the rest of the episode. I'm Twist, and watch part 2.